Hello, Saber Junkies. Guess what time it is? Time for another hilt. Yes, and this one, very special hilt. Azy's Workshop, the Crow. This is, I'm telling you right now, this was an absolute pleasure to work on. And the reason behind it is because of the design. And of course, Ryan, great customer. I've worked with him before, sent me this and basically said, let's just go crazy on it. And so that is what we did. And this is it. I did not do anything to the outside of this. This is the way it came to me. And I have to go through some things on this because I don't know how many people have installed this hilt or designed anything for this hilt, but it was a breath of fresh air. I can tell you that the next one that I'm coming out with was the exact opposite of this. No shade to Alex at all. He knew it was a difficult install. We'll find that out in a few weeks. This one here was what you would call an installer's dream, because as he worked on this and designed this for the installer in mind. You have a very large 29 millimeter inside diameter on this. You have this long handle that gives you plenty of room to work with. Up inside of here, I just can't stress how awesome this is. We've got two bolts right here holding this on, and it pops off. We've got our switch right there, wires underneath that. This comes right off, and you have this compartment inside of here. I know you can't see it, but it's underneath that. Underneath there is actually a space for your switch wires, for your LED right here, and it's just a wonderful little place to put your wires and any resistors you may need to put in or anything like that. It's just super nice. And when Ryan sent me the picture of the hilt and asked me to do this, he said, I've got this too, and he sent a diagram. And this diagram, I wish I had a picture of it right here. I'll try to put it somewhere up in here during editing. And I mean, it had the measurements and it had the way it came apart, and it was like a symphony. And yes, I so much appreciate this type of work. And because of the large inside diameter, I was able to, really go all out on this. And Ryan said that he wanted to go all out, and he wanted a lot of accent LEDs. And this dude is definitely got that. I don't know how much everyone else has been paying attention to the price of brass lately. Getting brass from Craft Cloud has been it's been heartbreaking, to be honest, to be able to look at the prices on everything. And I had a build that I did for David that was what I called pretty much the peak, the top build that I've ever done, and the price has tripled since I built that, and that was just last year, and possibly what, October, November, December, somewhere in there. And the prices just went insane. You can't even do it anymore. And so we went a different direction with this, old school, at least in my opinion, and went back with the brass sleeves. First thing I'm going to do here is just pull this off just a little bit, and I want to turn this on.
May the force be with us all.
I want to show the sound of this because it is a great sound.
Enter volume menu. Exit volume menu.
Ryan, I know we had talked about the last one and the sound on it, and it was your best sounding one. It's quite possible that this one might exceed that one. Just have to see. I think you're going to be very happy with the sound on it.
Enter volume menu. Maximum volume. Exit volume menu. Enter volume menu. Exit volume menu.
So what I've got set up here is the power button over here on the left and the auxiliary button on the right. This is normally the way I set things up. Of course, you can change that in the programming if you want. You know, you can do a lot of stuff in the programming on this one. I've got the stock V4 up here, and it is wired to where you can do whatever you want with that. So it's independent, and you can control that. Now, I will say that this LED here matches the emitter LED. This one has 8 blade styles on it, and I'll show you everything and explain why certain ones are going to match others. I mean, I used every data pad, okay, and I did not run anything in series other than the emitter PCB. So, and I'll explain all of that, but let's go ahead and open this up and let's look at the
This is just the beginning.
let's look at the chassis in this. I've got some major things to explain about this. So what we have here is,
You don't start. They're pod racing on Alistair. Meet a true. I am Sith.
I wanted to show a bit of the turbine here and how that rotates. Like I said, all of the LEDs are individually controlled, so I'll have to clarify that. We've got the 2 on the back here, right here, these 2 strips here. These are actually run together, so these are going to mimic each other. You've got the one on the right here, and it is independent, and the one on the left here, it is independent. Then you have the 2 on the bottom down here. These are independent, so you can control these however you want.
I survived Order 66. I am a lone outcast.
I really like the way the accent LEDs turned out on this. I'm very happy with them. I will say that when it comes to the wiring of this, I could have, and I hate doing this because I tend to do this sometimes, talk about things that I could have done differently. And I probably shouldn't do that, but I can't help it. I'm always thinking about ways of doing things differently, and so you just bear with me here. I could have come around here and connected these two together and actually made this in a series so that these could be controlled independently. And it's something that I have done on other builds before. I did not do that on this one. Some of it was limited to room. Some of it was just limited to the amount of wires, well, that goes to room. The amount of wires that had to run up through here because I got all of these wires. And that's a lot of wires. But when all said and done, pretty cool. I chose the battery wrap here from Saber Bay to kind of match the handle here. I always try, I don't know, just to put a little bit of personal, preference in on things and just match things up a little bit.
A Jedi uses the Force for knowledge and defense.
So you'll see that these are doing, like I said, their own thing. You'll be able to go in and program these. It's a long program, okay? You've got 8 blade styles. So I know that you're going to go in and just probably go crazy on the amount of stuff that you're able to do here, and have a lot of fun with it, which is great. And I think you'll really have a blast with it and the things that you can do. When it comes to these and the fact that the handle's on, you don't get to see it. That's kind of a bummer. But at the same time, I made this to where if you want to use this as the handle, do it at your own risk. But I do have it mounted in really nice in here. So it's pretty strong. You'd be okay to swing it around. I wouldn't go too crazy with it. You've got 2 set screws holding in the chassis right here. And you've got 1 set screw right here that holds on the sleeve, which you should not have to take off. If there's ever any work that needs done to it, you can send it back, and that's how I'm going to access all the electronics and everything. But yeah, I mean, so I wanted to explain kind of how I come to doing these okay, I don't know that if you can hear that or not. It depends on if you've got headphones on or what you're running this through, if you're watching it on your TV. But I'm telling you right now the difference that just made on that sound. And I wanted to show you that too. You're going to have a little bit of wiggle room here, okay? And the purpose or the reasoning behind that is for this shim that I made. So you'll see that this will tighten down just a little bit more. So what we have here is a KR Sabres 28 millimeter speaker, 3 watt, 4 ohm. Okay. And then we have this shim that I made. This is your magic shim. Okay, that's what I love to refer to these things. This is where your bass comes from. This is sounds okay. Let's go ahead and close that up, and then it just changes the whole dynamic. This here, another thing I love is just having this, man, quick blade change. Another thing that I really like is that you can just slide this right off, turn off your power, slide it back on, set it on the shelf, good to go. I like putting the kill switch at the top. I'm glad that worked out that way. Come over here and just...
My ally is the Force.
Yeah, you're really going to enjoy this. And, you know, it takes a lot of work to make these sleeves, really does. But when you consider the difference between making a brass sleeve like this and then versus 3D printed parts, lost wax casting and die casting your brass parts, it's just it's night and day, and it looks great. This is where I'm most likely going to stay in this realm of the more mid-tier lightsabers, is going to back to these sleeves over the parts from Craft Cloud. I actually talked to Craft Cloud. I messaged them. You know, the best they could do is give me a 20% discount, and that did not help with the price. It was nice to get the discount and get the offer, but it just doesn't even compare. I had someone reach out to me, a couple people actually reach out to me, and was wanting the Imperialist from Saber Bay and the install that I did on that, and the chassis design I did on that, and wanted me to do a few of those, and it was just outpriced. It was no way to do it. And this right here, I think, is a definite nice alternative. And if I can ever get set up with my laser that I've had now for damn near a year, and get that set up with these brass sleeves and stuff, I could really do a lot more. But honestly, I did all of this on the lathe and the mill, and I don't think I could be happier with it. I think it turned out just...
My ally is the Force.
Dark Jedi.
I think it just turned out great. Look at those accents. And Aziz, your hilt is just wonderful, man. I can't brag on it enough. Being able to pop these off, oh, it was just, it's like, oh, that's such a great idea. Just made it so easy to get to. It was such a joy. I wanted to say this LED here, instead of using, let me see here, I did not use this one, and probably would have never known that without saying it, but what I wound up doing was taking a regular LED, putting it in there, and underneath that I used a KR Sabers Nano LED, which is one of these dudes here, and I wired that in, and so that is a standard blade style for that, which, you know, gives you the ability to
I'm Luke Skywalker.
pretty much change it. I think it's a better, or at least for me, in a programming sense. I mean, this one takes up 3 pads, and this one takes up 1 pad, you know, versus, you know, your data line, of course. But like I said, I tied this one into the emitter, so whatever the emitter does is what this does, and you can do that however you want. You can let me think about that for just a minute. All right, look at my diagram here real quick. Make sure that I am getting that correct. LED strip data, bottom strip 6. It's bottom. Oh, these bottom strips. And we have the top strip, bottom strip, bottom. Shared data. Right side, no. Shared pad, but separate data 3 and 4. Turbine. Okay, that's what it is. The turbine right here is mirrored with this right here. So you'll be able, this is a 9 LED turbine, and it is from the Cantina. So there are a lot of animations you can do with this turbine. You're gonna love programming that. And it is going to mirror up here. And that's just the way I wound up doing it. I had to make some sacrifices with individual LED programming simply because there just wasn't enough pads. And other than trying to run things in series, which I don't know if you realize how difficult it is to run all of these in series. Yeah, that's what I wound up with. But you wanted a lot of accent LEDs, and you got them. speaker. That speaker sounds amazing even without this on. Then you put that on. Oh man. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I could think of a few hundred other things that I could talk about on this build, but I think I'm going to leave it at that. It does have the new kill switch in there, which I really love that kill switch. I think you will too. And yeah, you've got an 18650 battery. You just pull that dude right out, and to access the board, you just pop it up right here, and all of the wires and everything are under there. All you're wanting to do is access the SD card, and you don't even need to use anything to grab it with. So no tweezers or anything. You just grab it with your fingers, and then I designed this to just watch the wires but pop right back down inside there. And if you ever have any, you know, over time it pops out or anything, you can just slide a thin piece of material under that. But right now it's a floating board, and the purpose behind this floating board is to give you a bit more with your clashes and stuff. I wanted, a lot of times I've been making my boards to where they just, I mean, they're just really stationary and sturdy, and I've been working on different designs to make them float a little bit better, and it all can be adjusted, I think, with the sensitivity and everything, but you'll figure that out, I know, with programming and everything. Right now I think it's pretty good on its sensitivity. So yeah, I think that's it. I hope you enjoy it. I know that I sure did enjoy doing the designing of the chassis and building everything and installing this. I cannot thank Azy enough for his design. And yeah, if he builds another one with this 29mm inside diameter and a long handle, I'll be happy to install it. Just get some more brass tubing, and we can do all kinds of different things, maybe with a crystal chamber in it this time, you know. But anyway, that is it, and hope everyone has a great time, great weekend, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.